Welcome to Whisky.com, where fine spirits meet. My name is Lüning, Horst Lüning. I'm the master taster of Whisky.com. And the day before yesterday, I had a small parcel in the mail, and in that was the new private edition number 9 of Glenmorangie. And there was a small card accompanying this parcel and said, a lot of pleasure with the Glenmorangie Spìos Schlange. And then here's a red sticker on it. Do not publish before Tuesday, January 30th, 2018. And today we have the 29th. So I will not be able to publish this earlier. Glenmorangie had 8 private editions already out on the market. And well, they come out every year, and we're happy that the distributor sent this small parcel with the first sample to me. And today I haven't prepared a thing, so I just opened it once, and now here for you it's this Spìos, fully matured in American ex-rye casks. That is specialty. This is the unique selling proposition. This is a Glenmorangie, which is typically very smooth because it has the tallest stills in Scotland, 6 meters high, 18 feet. And in this tall stills, the alcohol separates very well. You have a smooth, elegant whiskey, and then it's typically matured in ex-bourbon casks, and they have a wonderful, elegant aroma. So this whiskey is smooth, elegant, sipping, everything. And now they mature it in total, in full, in ex-rye casks, and the rye whiskey is produced by 51%, at least 51% of rye in the cereal mixture. And it's produced in the US as well as in Canada. And the Canadians typically use the rye as the main spice ingredient in their blended whiskies. And the Americans have a tradition, the US Americans have the tradition to have a full rye whiskey on the market called rye. And it's the old whiskey because in former times they weren't able to mature or to grow barley, or the first settlers weren't able to grow their barley. And when they were able to grow the barley, they used it for beer. And so they used the rye and the maize, the corn, for the production of whiskey. And so 2 types of whiskey appeared: the bourbon, which uses 50%, 51%, or 50% plus of maize, and the rye, which uses 50% plus or 51% and more of rye in the mixture. So now they imported those rye casks for the maturation, which is not unique, but this is very, very rare to Scotch whiskey. There had been some finishings in rye casks, as I may remember right. So this is the typical setting which you get. This is the small 0.1 liter bottle of the private edition. This is the Glenmorangie glass with a lid on top. And I do not use this glass because I want to have a comparison with my other whiskies I tasted with this special Whisky.com glass. And then there is a memory stick. There are some pictures in it and so on. So I place it here, and the bottle in front so that the green screen does not disturb the color of that whiskey. And here there's the press release, Spìos from the golden era. And there's a wonderful photograph, so we put it in front of it. Bottle here. This is the 9th issue of the private editions, and this Spìos is Gaelic for spice. Spice, Spìos, well, quite near the pronunciation. And this remembers to the golden era of the rye whiskies in the US. And well, the rye whiskey was very, very popular, and then the lighter ones, the sweeter ones took over, and rye was close to extinction. When I started in the whiskey business in 1990 or 91, then there was really no whiskey here on the European, rye whiskey here on the European continent, nothing at all. Later on there had been one or two coming over, but it was really rare. And with the time, rye whiskies evolved, and today there's a little renaissance of the rye whiskies here in Central Europe. And Dr. Bill Lumsden, Glenmorangie's Director of Distilling, Whiskey Creation and Whiskey Stocks, found those rye in the 1990s in the US, and their cinnamon and clove notes activated his fantasy, and he saw big potential. Yeah. And then he ordered some only once or used once rye whiskey casks from the heart of Kentucky, and then he filled the Glenmorangie in. The 1990s mentioned in this press release does not mean that this whiskey matured since 1990 in these casks. Then it would be 27 years, and a 27-year-old Glenmorangie would cost an awful lot of money. And here the registered suggested retail price is 85 euros. So this one is young. So I think it will be around 10 years, as all Glenmorangies are. But they then used just those rye casks instead of those Ozark Mountain ex-bourbon casks. Yeah. So here we go. Yeah, there had been 8 private bottlings before, editions before. Some of them I had already here in my casks. Glenmorangie Sonalta PX, Finialta, Artane, Ealanta, Companta, and then the Two Sail, the Milson, and the Bacalta. Yeah, so there have been a lot of them out there, and in the past, those whiskies have been very, very rare, not easy to get. And in the last years, I think the number of bottles increased, and the supply is more stable over a year. So you might be able to get one of these wherever you live, in one of the developed countries, of course. What do I think? What I will taste here? Well, on one hand, I will have the very smooth, elegant vanilla style of Glenmorangie with these light, fruity, citrus fruity notes of the Northern Highlands. And on the other hand, I will think there will be some very spicy rye whiskies, whiskey notes in it, so there will be some complexity between this elegance and the intensity. Yeah, there is vanilla and caramel a lot. So the rye might have matured not for that long in those casks. The minimum maturation period for rye is 2 years, and there are some older ones on the market, but the availability of those casks is rare. So typically between 2 and 4 years, I think. And yeah, from the heart of Kentucky, so it's no Canadian rye cask. There aren't many rye whiskey distilleries in Kentucky. No. There are a few, 2 or 3 come to my mind. no idea from where they got those casks. Then there is some coolness in it. First I thought they were eucalyptus, but officially they say sherries, not sherry cask, but fruit sherry. And probably there's this lighter fruit aroma from the sherry. Yeah. And some Christmas cake cloves. Cinnamon, not really. A wonderful, complex, smooth taste, and the 46% ABV, not too strong. Yeah, the rye kicks in, really, definitely. Mouth-watering, strong, spicy, and not this alcoholic sharpness, no, and not the bitterness of the cask, no, it's the spiciness of a rye. So I think those casks had been wet, meaning they were just emptied, and as soon as they were close to empty, more or less, then they were refastened with bung and then shipped over to Scotland to be refilled. So there is a lot of fresh rye influence in it. Yeah. Combining with the freshness and lightness and this sherry note on top, this light cooling note, probably amplified by the 46% ABV. Very interesting. Yeah. Yeah, something really special from Glenmorangie. And the only Glenmorangie I had, which was as spicy as this one, had been the 18 years. Extra mature? Yeah, don't know how it's called exactly. So it's the 18-year-old. This showed a lot of spiciness, but coming from the oak, not from the rye. So this one is different in spiciness, but it's a lot of intensity of the rye in it. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for the distributor for providing that sample. I'm grateful for that. Thank you very much.